And he said to me, that guy's got to be number one on your hit list. And before I could stop the words coming out of my mouth, I was getting so little sleep at this point. I'm
half delirious.
I'm coked out to the bejesus. You start hallucinating when you're not sleeping. I say to him, actually, he's number two. The scumbag who raped me as a child is number one.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast,
which is take care of business.
Yeah, well, what happened is I ran into him after work one day in a deli, Quick Check Deli, and I was getting a coffee, and he walked in the door. He saw me. Again, no shame. Here I am, a childhood rape victim of his, and he yells out, "Hey, Clark!" And I instantly go into a panic attack. I'm gulping for air. My palms are sweating. My mind's spinning.
How old were you at this point?
When was this? I'm like 45 now. And trailing in right behind him is a young boy about the age he raped me at. And that young boy calls him the same nickname he used to insist I call him. And I heard that nickname, and it just opened up everything I had buried. I had never told anyone up to this point about what had happened to me. As I said, at the river that day, my mind said we're not going to talk about it, and I didn't. So I hear that nickname, and I see that boy and the age I was at, and I snap, and I run out of there. I get in my truck. I speed out of the parking lot. I go down the road. I'm punching my steering wheel. I'm cursing. I'm spitting on passenger floor.
Dennis Pegg's probably like, "What's his problem?"
Yeah.
Like just like that. Yeah.
And my life unravels. And I walk out of a family business I was in 2 months later. And now I have free time. I have Dennis Pegg on the forefront of my mind, and I can't shake him. And the only thing I knew to do was to dive headfirst into drugs and alcohol. I posted one time on Instagram on the amount of drugs I was doing, and somebody said, "That's bullshit. Nobody's doing that much." And my friend, who knew me, he responded, "If anything, Clark is underestimating." So, and I'm not here to I don't know how I'm still alive. I'm not here to promote drug use. But I had a pain pill addiction. I herniated my back, and the doctor gave me 30 Vicodin, and I ate them in 3 days. I felt like Superman.
Right.
So now,
numb, no emotion, no pain, no nothing.
I call him up after 3 days for more, and he's like, "That was way too fast. I'll give you 10 more. That's it." Well, that wasn't acceptable to me. I knew people on the street for coke and weed. I just started asking around. Boom! I got pills coming in left and right. So I had a pain. I'm taking, anywhere depending on what strength I got, 10 to 24 pain pills a day. I'm doing 3 to 5 grams of coke a day. Instead of buying grams now, I'm buying ounces of coke a week. I'm popping Xanax like they're Tic Tacs because of all the coke I'm doing. So I'm taking 6 to 12 Xanax a day.
Holy shit.
And I'm drinking.
That's an expensive habit you got there.
Yeah, well, I'm selling drugs too to pay for it.
I got you.
Yeah. And I'm drinking superhuman amounts of alcohol.
Who's an entrepreneur also.
Yes. So
when you want to self-destruct, it's expensive to kill yourself.
What was the breaking point, though, where you go find Dennis?
I had a business deal where I got burned for, a decent amount of money, and I saw the guy out. And this was the same day of the start of the Jerry Sandusky molestation trial out at Penn State. I had been on a 3-day bender. I got a couple hours of sleep. I woke up, did a line of coke, poured a glass of wine, put on the TV, and it's a Sandusky trial. I start, like I was in my truck that day, I start cursing and spitting on my bedroom floor. I go out that day, drinking and snorting all day long. I had a friend come into my house who was going to power wash the cedar siding in my house, and he was dropping off the equipment that night. I run into this guy who burned me on a business deal, and I had words with him. When I met my friend at the house, he knew about the story with the guy who burned me on the money, and I said I ran into him. And he said to me, "That guy's got to be number one on your hit list." And before I could stop the words coming out of my mouth, you know, I was getting so little sleep at this point. I'm
Half delirious.
I'm coked out to the bejesus. You start hallucinating when you're not sleeping. I say to him, actually, he's number 2. The scumbag who raped me as a child is number 1. And there it's out.
Did you just like, fuck?
What
The
did I
room
say?
just stopped.
Yeah.
Like he's staring at me like you are right now. And he's like, "Are you fucking for real?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he asked me who he was and where does he live. One of us says, "Let's go get him." Whichever one of us said it, whatever. And it sounded like a fucking great idea. He literally lived 2 miles from my house. I don't know if he still lives there. We drive over there. We park halfway up the driveway. I get out. I run up the driveway. I look in. His front door is open. The screen door is shut. And there he is sitting watching TV. And it was literally like seeing the devil sitting in his lair.
Now you're just enraged.
Yeah. And I'm enraged. And I'm also going into that panic attack mode. I'm still that little 12-year-old kid who got raped in that house. Before I can freeze, I go up to the screen door and I rip it open. I break the hinge off. I rip it open so hard. It's 9:30 at night. A person you raped as a child is standing in your doorway. And what he said next, like, determined his fate to me.
Make
He
one
casually
fucking
looked.
move.
He casually looked over his shoulder. He didn't like plead or apologize or say, "Oh my God," you know. He casually looked over his shoulder and he's like, "Hey, how are you?" I go, "Hey, how am I, motherfucker? Let me show you how the fuck I am, Dennis." And I fucking rushed across his room, and a violent struggle ensues. I have a knife in my hand. He's punching me. I'm stabbing at him. At one point, I put the knife right through my hand. Eventually, he falls to the ground. I kneel down in front of him, and I say, "It's not so fun raping little boys now, is it, Dennis?" And I slit his throat. And it's over. Before I left the house, I walked to the bedroom where he raped me at, and I spit on the bed. And then I walked out.
I was going to say you're going to spit or piss on that bed or something.
Spit on the bed. And people ask
Bro.
me, how did you feel? Like, did that, like, relieve everything? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I go,
Bro, I got to tell you something, man. I'm really sorry about this, buddy. Like, I don't know what else to say to you. Like, I'm really fucking sorry that this happened to you.
yeah. And it's not like that took away everything. You know, it was horrific. You know, you're in hand-to-hand combat. And it was a fight to the death. And yeah, I killed an animal. But it didn't, like, take everything away from me.
She's never going to erase the memories.
No. You know.
You spit on the bed. Do you wait for the police to come or you run?
No, we left. We went home, but I knew the injury was going to be my downfall.
You got to go to the hospital.
I didn't go to the hospital, but, you know, my mother was up from Florida, and I knew my life was over. And I just felt I righted a wrong for a whole bunch of people.
Is your life over or is it just beginning?
The life I had been living died right
That
there
day.
with Dennis Pegg.
That's how I see it.
That life died.
Yeah. I don't.
That life was over.
Murder is an awful thing. Not this time, brother. I'm going to tell you right now, not this time.
I'm going to say justified.
So, the injury to your hand leads the police to come.
Yeah,
find you.
but through it was family members that ended up. That's how they got to me.
Your family or his?
Mine. You know, I had told my mother. My mother told my sister. My sister told her therapist. The therapist is like, maybe he's not dead.
Well, word had to be all over town at this point. I mean, one of the most respected guys in the town.
Well, you know,
Respected.
nobody's gone to the house yet. Nobody knew. This is the next day, and I wake up and I go out. My mind told me, like, you know, I instantly, like, holy fuck, what did you do last night? What the fuck did you do? And I'm like, my hand's all fucked up. I severed all the ligaments and tendon. It's like that, And I'm like, what are we going to do? And my mind said, let's get some drugs and alcohol in our system and we'll be able to come up with a plan. And I'm like, I agree. I yell out to my empty room. I pop a bunch
like a great idea.
Yeah, I pop a bunch of Xanax. I go out, I pour a glass of wine, I look out, and there's at least a dozen cop cars up and down the road. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me already? And
no fight, no struggle.
Nah, I drank 2 glasses of wine. They ordered me out of the house. And as I'm walking to my front door, you'll like this one. Let's have a little levity for a second.
I wasn't going to bring it up this time. It's not me.
I had seen a friend from high school in a bar like a month earlier, and he's in the state police. And he said, hey, come out to my car. I got a bunch of hats and shirts. He goes, take some. So I took some state police shirts and hat. So before I walked out to the room, before I walked out the front door, I go to my room and I find the state police shirt. I'm like, yeah, this should get me out of this. And I put my state police shirt on. I'm like, yeah, this should do it.
All the PBA cards you have.
But I got a family member gold card.
Yeah.
And the guy who gave it to me, he's like, look, dude, this should get you out of anything but murder. And boy, was he right about that.
The one fucking thing that I choose to do.
Damn it.
Couldn't he give me the next one up from that gold card?
That's a platinum card, I think.
Yeah.
It gets you out of murder.
Bastard.
This guy, Dennis Pegg, seemed to be pretty well known for doing this.
Yeah, everybody knew.
They knew. So how did the police treat you?
All right, so I get arrested. I'm taken to the state police barracks. A lieutenant walks in. His first words out of his mouth are, I got to apologize to you. I'm like, apologize for what, bro? And he goes, I've known about this scumbag for a long, long time. He goes, I could never build a criminal case against him based on rumors. All I had was rumors. He goes, you need cold, hard facts and you need victims. Whatever he did to you victims to shut you guys up prevented me from arresting him. And I apologize to you. And I apologize for whatever horror you went through. I was like, and then he walked out. And I sat, at first I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. And then I just got fuming mad. I'm like, I just flushed my fucking life away. And everybody in this fucking town knew what this guy was doing and nobody stopped this animal. I had to be the one to stop him and piss my life away.
That's crazy.
This guy comes back in later on. And he's like, look, bro, my detectives are waiting in the next room with prosecutor detectives to interrogate you. You're in deep shit right now. If you go into that room and open your mouth, you're going to fucking sink your ship. I'm telling you, I want you to exercise your Fifth Amendment rights and keep your mouth shut and request a lawyer. Whatever they ask you, you just say, I want a lawyer. He goes, you understand me? He asked me 3 times if I understood him because he said he walked back in that room and he could tell I mailed it in. He could tell that I had given up on life and he didn't want my life to be over. And he did that for me. And without him doing that, snapping me back into reality, I might have gone in there and just
talked.
Yeah, and said everything.
He was your guardian angel.
Yeah. And I went into that room. I was literally in there for 30 seconds. I'm like, I request a lawyer. And they're like, is this really how you want to play it out? I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And it was done.
So the trial goes to, what was your plea?
Yeah, I sat in the county jail for 3.5 years. And then they finally offered me a plea deal. You know, enough victims came forward. The prosecutor said he was running a dual investigation, one against me and one against what Dennis Pegg had been doing for decades.
What the fuck's the sense of that investigation now? You can't prosecute anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to lower my charges.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, like they're investigating him and coming up with enough dirt to be like, are we... You know, one thing that happened, they kept me in a suicide cell for the first 4 weeks I was in there. And they had me in the right spot, you know. But the third day I was in there, a guard I knew from the streets came in, and he's like, bro, how you doing? I'm like, fucking shitty, bro.
I'm in prison.
Yeah, I'm done.
Now, were you in the jail where Dennis
Dennis
worked?
Pegg worked his whole career. I'm in that jail, and I'm thinking these guys are going to beat me to death.
Yeah.
And one by one, guys are coming into the suicide cell saying, keep your mouth shut, let this play out. I'm hearing a lot of shit about this guy. I didn't know him, you know, just don't talk to anybody. This guy comes in that I know, and he's like, do you know what's going on in the community? And I'm like, no. He goes, somebody's already started a Free Clark campaign. He goes, there's bumper stickers everywhere on cars everywhere already. He goes, there's people are wearing shirts, hats. The prosecutor said in court one time, Your Honor, I don't think I can get a fair trial. Everywhere I look, there's a car with a Free Clark sticker on it. So people wanted to know why this animal was still walking the streets. They didn't want to know why I did what I did. They knew why I did it. They wanted to know why he wasn't locked up.
Yeah, exactly. And why nobody took the fucking horns and ran with it and pushed to have this guy locked up. Right. But they knew what was going on.
Right. There's a guard who reached out to me who said on her very first day on the job at the jail, when Dennis was still working, her fellow workers said to her, he was a sergeant at the time. Sergeant Peg likes little boys. This is her first day on the job. It's like they all fucking knew.
That might make it worse for me. That people knew.
Yeah, exactly. Of course it makes it worse.
Balls to say anything.
But I'm sure he instilled the fear into everybody. Like you said, because he was a big guy.
He didn't rape everybody.
No, but I'm just saying, people that knew, if they had an inkling, he probably instilled some fear into them.
It's like the Catholic priests. There's everybody working in the church organization who's doing that.
There were 7 of them in my high school. That
were pedophiles?
Yeah, and I always said, like, why didn't you touch me, man? What am I, not attractive? What the fuck?
Hey, listen.
You were a late bloomer.
I guess I wasn't attractive enough. But yeah, some of them.
So people were like this.
They would just move them. And they would move the priests who did it, not the smash on the Catholic Church, but years ago in the 60s and 70s, they would move the priests to the schools and out of the parishes, which is retarded or stupid. It's really just stupid to do that.
You're putting them around kids.
Yeah. You're putting them around kids, right? Why would you do that? Now,
so I take a plea to second-degree manslaughter, and the judge gives me the minimum, 5 years, and he apologizes on the record for having to send me to prison for a single day.
Well, it had to be passion provocation, also, isn't it?
Yeah, it had never been used 30 years after. Usually passion provocation is you walk in, some guy's banging your wife, Right. This is 30 years after the fact, but there's 4 criteria to passion provocation, and I did fit into each one,
Well, you did your time, and you said you found therapy in prison.
Finally got therapy in prison.
How did that start to release some of the demons?
Yeah, well, I had never talked about, like, going into prison. The only one I had talked to was my lawyer about what happened. Yeah. That's not really therapy. That's just reciting.
Yeah.
So I start therapy. My second one-on-one with her, she goes, hey, I run a group therapy class in the prison for childhood trauma. She goes, would you join that? And I said, sure. And I'm in there with Blood Gang members, Latin King Gang members, Muslims, Christians. Some had been molested. Some just had childhoods that are completely off the charts. And we're all telling our story. We're crying in front of each other. We're hugging each other. And we're healing. And that group therapy thing was the biggest healer.
Mike and I are well-versed in group therapy, and the benefits of group therapy, people don't realize it, because what happens is you're amongst people of all different types. There is no color. There is no sexual orientation. Yeah. There is no religion.
We had gay guys in there too.
There's no religion. It's a total level playing field.
Right.
And you all know, he's doing, this is what's happening to him, and this is how he's feeling. It's like and that's the benefit of group therapy. And I'm such a huge believer in it. And that's what we do here at Suffering Podcast. It's a giant piece of group therapy. Now, you do.
I'm sure there's people from that group that you still talk to today.
No.
If they're out?
Yeah. Most were doing long bids. Yeah.
Now, you get out, your first taste of freedom, what was that like?
Right to a diner, Belleville diner.
Get some decent food.
Yeah, and then I had no clothes. What I walked out with was it. So we went to Kohl's, and my niece took me on a shopping spree, and I was so like, when you get out of prison, you're so out of sorts. I was afraid. I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom so bad in Kohl's, and I'm like, I go to her, where's the bathroom? And she's like, down there, and I'm like, you got to walk me there. She's like, are you for real? She goes, you could take anybody here. I'm like, yeah, I can't walk by myself. You know, I just
You become
didn't feel-
institutionalized,
I
yeah.
didn't feel comfortable. So she had to walk me to the bathroom, you know, and a friend wanted to have a big party for me when I'm like, fuck no, bro. And I avoided people for a while, you know.
I was going to say, how did the people from town treat you when they saw you?
Yeah,
or did you just shelter for a while?
Yeah, I mean, I laid low, but I went back to Stillwater, and I was nervous about going back. That people would be,
Yes.
Oh, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
and instead, none of that happened. It was all love, it was all apologies. People all throughout the community gave me money to get back on my feet.
That's a beautiful thing.
Allowed me to buy a car.
That's a
you know.
beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know what they were doing too with some of these people who, especially who knew, they were buying themselves out of guilt.
And buying themselves out of guilt.
And
Exactly.
You know what? When I read my allocution statement when I accepted my plea deal, I got a standing ovation. And what I've said is, I think there was communal guilt. You know, it's a Nazi term, communal guilt. And I think the town had communal guilt about knowing what this animal was doing, and they released it that day. You know, like applauding me. You know, they weren't applauding that I murdered. They were applauding that I found my voice and I finally spoke up. You know, for the first time about
On
what happened.
behalf of plenty of other victims who didn't have the balls to actually step up.
You were that face.
You were the face of redemption,
Yeah.
of revenge.
Now you go out and do some speaking engagements now. Right?
Yeah.
You're telling your story because it's important.
You know, I decided to get baptized when I got out. My second month out, I went and got baptized, and I got baptized in a tub made by New Jersey prisoners. You know, it was fitting. And I had to read a testimony. It was a big church, you know, probably 500 people in the audience. And I read a testimony why I was getting baptized. I gave a quick little synopsis. And there was a girl from this place, Ginny's House. It's for abused children. She was in the audience. And she reached out to me and she said, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I'm presenting at Centenary College. Would you like to be my guest speaker? Here I'm not even out of prison, you know, a couple months, and I'm getting a speaking gig at a university. I'm like, hell yeah. From there, you know, I wanted, selfishly, I wanted to sue the Boy Scouts. I went to, you know, one of the high-powered law firms in Newark, and the guy read me the law, and he goes, you can't file a lawsuit. The law stated you have from age 18 to 20 to file a lawsuit.
Damn.
You get raped at 12. I got to come forward at 18? Are you out of your mind? Or 2 years from the time of awareness of what happened to you is adversely affecting your life. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? He's like, that's legalese for you're fucked.
Jesus.
Well, they changed the statute of limitations now on rape and all that, right?
Yeah. So he says to me, he goes, there's advocates who've been working for 15 years to change the statute of limitations law. I think it'd be healthy for you to join up with them. And who knows, maybe something crazy like your story will hold some weight and get the law finally changed. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. So I went in selfishly, and then it became unselfish.
Look at how many kids that you've helped by doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, the sad part is it's awful what you went through to do what you're doing now, just like that, getting that law changed so that doesn't happen again. I hate to say this, but it was almost necessary is a wrong word to do.
It was.
You know what I'm saying?
It was, though. You know, if what happened to me, I led a life without direction. I was just running from my pain. I now have direction, and I led a selfish life. I led a destructive life, and now I have a life of giving back and helping others.
That's why we started this podcast, for exactly what
Exactly,
you just
for
said.
people like you.
You took your pain, you repurposed it, and you put it back out in the world for good.
Yeah. If I didn't, I'd probably go back to the old Clark.
Yeah.
Like, I can't sit on my couch with a remote control in my hands watching TV and be like, I'm healed, I'm all better. I got to help the next person.
If you're all better, if you were to tell me, hey, I'm healed, I'm all better, I say you're full of shit, dude.
Right,
Never happened.
I'll never be.
You'll never
all
be
better.
totally healed.
No.
Now, hey, where can we find you?
I use my name. I don't go by anything slick. Just Clark Fredericks. I'm on all the major, social media things, but primarily Instagram and Facebook.
All right. So we'll put some links in our show notes.
I have a website, clarkfredricks.com.
All right, we'll put that link in there as well.
You go on there. I've got a 5.5-minute video, professionally done that'll sum up my whole story.
Took us an hour to sum up your story, and we're still not done. You did it in 5 minutes.
I could sit here and talk about this, but there would be a lot of disgust coming out of my mouth, and I'm trying to hold that in and be somewhat neutral. You've gone through one of the pieces of ultimate suffering that we've experienced only 2 times. Like there's a lot of suffering out there. Don't get me wrong, but there's some really like super, super suffering, and I think this is one of them. You've gone through all this stuff. What do you think it's taught you?
The molestation, rape wasn't what destroyed my life. The silence was. And breaking your silence is the first step of healing. It's not the only, like I had a good friend. He was a real tough dude, motorcycle 1%er, who in and out of prison his whole life. He finally broke his silence to me and said, I was molested as a kid too. He never followed it up with any other help, and he went right back to drugs and he committed suicide. And that really hurt. So breaking your silence, is the utmost thing you have to do. But then you got to follow it up. I had to allow God into my life. I went through life angry at God.
How'd you let this happen to me?
Yeah, at 12 years old when you're getting raped, you want that lightning bolt to come down and strike this piece of shit dead,
right.
And it didn't happen.
Unfortunately, God doesn't work that way.
So I was able to mend the fence with God, let's say, and create a spiritual relationship, and that was part of my healing. And, helping, you really start healing when you help the next person heal. That's
what it's all about.
That's what, I can't tell you how many private messages I've gotten of people who open up to me. And I've always responded. It may take me some time, like when I do something
That's how we
big.
connected.
Yeah.
So before we go, and we're about to wrap up here,
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody the serendipitous nature of how Clark and I connected. So I did a podcast, and I got lots of comments on the podcast.
When I commented, you had like 2,500 or so already.
Yeah, so there's a lot of comments on there, and I see a picture, and it says something like, hey, from a fellow Jersey guy, blah, blah, blah. And I just clicked on your YouTube channel, and you got like 3-4 videos up there. You don't have much on there. And I go, I know this guy. I know who this guy is because I read that story. I read it when it happened. Right. And I reached out to you. I said, hey, find me. Find me on Instagram and let's connect.
And I go to my girlfriend, and I'm like, he can't be Googling 2,500 names. Like, what the hell? How does he want me to connect with him?
For whatever reason.
Right.
For whatever reason. You'll call it whatever you want. God's plan, serendipity, coincidence. I saw your picture.
And you said that the name, like, I know that name somehow.
I clicked on, no, I can't say I knew the name, but you said you were from Jersey, but I saw the picture and something made me click on it to look at your channel. And on that particular show, I didn't really check out other people's YouTube channels. There's just too many of them. I clicked on yours and we connect. And you were here to tell one of the most courageous, horrifying stories I've ever heard in my life.
Gut-wrenching.
This was incredible, brother. Seriously incredible. And I know you've heard this plenty of times that you're so courageous and everything. No, you're the fucking strongest man that I think I've met in a very, very, very long time. And I got my hat's off to you.
It's not just doing what I did and surviving what I survived. It's then what am I doing with my life now? And I just signed a deal with Simon & Schuster for a book. They want the finished manuscript October of 23.
When that comes out, make sure you come on back.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Once you're here, you're family.
Yeah.
Clark, I got to tell you, I mean, that is, like I said, a terrible story. You're a great guy. You're a strong guy. I give you a lot of credit for what you did.
Thanks, Mike.
And I think there's a lot of people that are going to learn from what because you, like Kevin said before, you did what everybody wants to do.
Yeah.
Hearing your story, I wanted to go up and kill the fucking guy.
But if you, to the people who are watching, if you know of anybody, if you have an inkling of anybody and you don't know who to reach out to, I'm sure you have resources now.
Yeah.
Where you have resources. Reach out to Clark on Instagram.
Send me a private message.
Or reach out to us and we'll get the message to Clark somehow. I want to thank you so much for coming in here today.
My pleasure.
This was something else. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Suffering Podcast. And as always, let's think about what we learned today. There are no little secrets with kids. Crimes against children are completely unforgivable. This has all got to end. This has all got to end. Silence is destructive, but most importantly, out of the darkness comes Clark Fredericks. I'm so grateful for you, brother. Thank you.
Amen, man.
All right.
Thanks.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the Suffering Podcast, The Suffering of Revenge with Clark Fredericks. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow Mike at Mike_Failace. Follow me at Real Kevin Donaldson. And of course, follow the Suffering Podcast. And we will see you on the next episode.